So now while we're halfway through my video, I'm going to start explaining a few things. I actually got better results from this one, so I'm going to add that to compare. Then we're going to go down here. Oh, let's cut that out. Y'all just bear with me for a moment. Alright. Now, systems info was updated since this, so these results aren't perfectly side by side comparisons. Plus, if you'll look here, I did have this one overclocked a lot more than this, but I had 2133 memory, so this processor is actually running stronger because of the BIOS updates. And I'll be getting to the point. Now that's two Radeon RX 480s. I owned them before the crypto mining market went crazy for these video cards. Um, the two RX 480s performed extremely well in 99% of the games that I played. Now, with the crypto mining that's going on and the release of the Vega 56, I'm not even going to mention the 64 because it's an embarrassment. The Vega 56 is on the market, and crypto miners are going crazy trying to get it because, from what I understand, it can get roughly about 43 mega hashes at 130 watts with new BIOS updates and software. And everybody's like, this is horrible. Well, it is and it isn't. See, because what has happened is we have found out that the 1080 outperforms it at roughly the same price, maybe $100 more. Most people don't have money for a 1080. Most people settle for a 1060 or a 1070. Um, but the RX for A580 is about equivalent to a GTX 1060. Not quite as much, but they're very competitive. And if you were going to go to, say, a 10 single 1080 or even a 1080 Ti, I believe you'll get about the same amount of performance out of two 580s at roughly the same cost. And if you're going to water cool, and you can find one that you can modify to water cool, and that is the problem right now, is you can't get a manufacturer card and find a full block to go on the GPU, and anything else you've kind of got to rig it to work. So two RX 580s is going to roughly compare, if not beat, a 1080 at the same price range once things balance back to normal. What you've got now is a crypto mining market, and as soon as these RX 56 or these RX Vega 56s and RX Vega 64s become more and more available, they're going to hit they're going to be gobbled up by crypto miners. Well, that means that the crypto miners are not going to be gobbling up your 1070s, your 1080s, your 1060s. They're also not going to be gobbling up your 580s, your 570s, or your 560s. And this will put Nvidia, and AMD in a nice place, and all the consumers in a nice place for your mid-range enthusiast cards. Um, Not your higher end enthusiasts, but your mid range enthusiasts. If you want to go high end enthusiasts, you're paying overpriced for everything anyhow. High end enthusiasts spend $300 on a water block. 80 more dollars on a card's not gonna matter. It's not a make it or break it situation for somebody who's going to be throwing $8,000 to $10,000 into a computer. Um, right now, the thing to worry about is the price of memory because it looks like it may go up in the market in the next couple of months 30%. And it's kind of already at an inflated price. But you've got a bunch of new releases that are coming out. So you've got your Xbox consoles, the Xbox One X console. It's coming out. And this is what people don't understand with AMD. AMD is pushing out these Ryzen processors as fast as they can. They've got demands for epic processors they can't meet. Threadripper is sitting on the market on barely being able to meet customer demand. They've got the Xbox One X that is already pre ordered, sold out, and the Christmas holiday is coming. Their Vega did not do as well in the lineup as what they were hoping, and the profit margins on them aren't that great. So bear all this in mind that AMD will be producing more of these cards and helping to level the playing field. And as long as these products are out there, because before they were not out there, it's going to put pressure back on Nvidia to keep at least your anything below your mid-level enthusiasts all the way down to your normal gamers. It's going to keep their price market in check, especially as more crypto miners get hold of the 64 and the 56 Vega. And it coming out is not a bad thing. It not coming out for gamers, so what? Sometimes you can't get everything you want. The only problem with this is, again, if you have a FreeSync monitor that you would purchase because you thought that the Vega was going to come out and you were going to get it and you were going to save $150 on a monitor and save $100 on a video card. The day of AMD having to sell for less and barely making a profit ended in 2013. We, that keep up with the market, knew this was coming when they got a $1.7 billion loss settlement from Intel and they sunk all that money into R&D. And what Intel had forced them to produce, by right they did have at that time the ability to do it, and they did it, but they had to pay the consequence. And the $1.7 billion lawsuit was a drop in the bucket considering the processors that they sold and the market share that they gained by pushing AMD to where they couldn't produce their product. We'll face the facts. If you remember back when AMD hit the market, it was because Intel couldn't produce enough processors and gave them rights to use their 386 product line to start off with. And when they gave them that, then they took off and they started selling and they paid Intel out of the pocket. And still, everything that AMD sells, a certain amount of profit goes to Intel with no work involved. So all of y'all sweating this whole situation about the Vega not performing as well as the 1080. It's not a big deal. All of y'all who were saying that crypto miners are taking over the market, that was going to happen anyhow. Crypto mining will slow down again and then it may pick up. The amount of cards on the market is the problem. And the next problem may be the price of memory, because I think by the end of the 2017, early in 2018, there'll be plenty of cards out there on the market. If you're wanting to save some money, go get you two RX 580s whenever they become available and the price balances back out, and it's going to be cheaper than a 1080. And you're going to get the most amount of performance with the least amount of money. If you can find one that you can water cool, that you can get a full water cool block, I suggest spending the money and going for it, because then you can perform roughly about the same as on a 1080 Ti. If you're 1444 gaming or 1080p gaming, you don't need a 1080 Ti. You want a 1080 Ti. You're not going to see the difference. I don't care how you look at it. You're an enthusiast that's willing to spend extra money to say, "Hey, I got this. Can yours do this?" I game on a 1080 monitor, 60 hertz. I do want to move up to a 1440, but right now I've got a 1060. I'm going to have to save up money to get both. By the time I save up money to get both, Nvidia is going to have launched their next line of video cards. I can't remember. Volta, I believe, is the name of it. When Volta comes out, it's going to have HBM2 memory in it. AMD did the right thing by switching over to HBM2. HBM3 is right around the corner. DDR memory is not going to go up but so much. It's not going to help the system but so much. What you're looking at hopefully next happening is, first of all, clock speeds are about maxed out. Both processor wise, you're probably talking about capping out at 5 gigahertz. And I know that Ryzen's at 4, so you've got a little bit of room for that. And Intel's processors aren't quite clocking to 5 gigahertz without boost clocking them. So you're but that is going to be the line. Once we hit that 5 gigahertz margin, the next thing is going to be to make the dies smaller and to make more cores, more threads. If gaming's going to get better, they're going to have to be able to utilize on the processor side the cores and the threads. On the gaming side, single cards with dual chips, you're talking about a little bit bigger of a footprint, sharing the same HBM2 to HBM3 memory, depending on what the market's going for. PCI is fixing to be expanded. 4.0 is short-lived. Do not buy anything 4.0. 5.0 will be right around the corner, and it'll be just like whenever PCI Express first released 2.0. It wasn't long after 2.0. You got 2.1 and 3.0, and if you had bought a card that was 2.0 6 months later, you seen the same card with 3.0 that was getting higher frames per second, just for the simple fact it had more buses to go through. Don't waste your money. If you're happy with what you've got, wait till the first of the year of 2018. AMD's going to have some new processors on the market. That can be guaranteed. New motherboards are going to come out on the market. Um, with PCI Express 4.0 probably in late December. I imagine by June 5.0 will already be released. And so all these cards are going to be redesigned to use these systems. Yes, they're going to be backwards compatible, but you're going to lose some performance just because of the availability of lanes. Now, that said, I'm going to do some gaming. I just don't know what gaming I'm going to do. Let's see if I got anything going live on my Facebook. I would hate to be talking all this junk and not even be live. Okay, so yes, there I am. You know what? I ain't played this in a while. And I want to put my counter on to see what's going on. Oh, oh no. That may be why my benchmark scores were so low. Oh no. Could have swore I hit play. There we go.
Black Ops, mission clock is running. Friendly care package incoming.
Enforcer down.
Wraith inbound.
Target down. Seraph, KIA.
Friendly HCXD deployed.
Soldado kill.
Hellstorm inbound.
Enemy down.
Friendly care package incoming.
Ruin down.
Be advised, hostile UAV incoming.
Can confirm.
Neutralized.
Oh yeah.
Battle ready. Respond.
Hostile HCXD in your AO. KIA. Hostile care package overhead.
That's a kill.
We're winning this fight. Be advised, hostile dart in your AO. UAV inbound. Mission clock running down.
EKIA. Prey down.
accord. RTB.
Ain't no place they could hide from me.
I am become death, the destroyer of scrubs.
Wow. Wow. These programs do not go well together.